วัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับแล้วขอต้อนรับเข้าสู่รายการ Talking Thailand My name is Daniel Whitehouse
My name is Su Ching Chin
ผมหม่อมหลวงณัฐกร เทวกุลนะครับต้อนรับท่านผู้ชมเข้าสู่รายการ Talking Thailand Welcome to Talking Thailand the program where we'll deliver to you all the news and information that you might like to know about the Kingdom of Thailand Now คุณจิตสุภาชินครับ Today we have a special co-host
Yeah
He is not Adam Bradshaw
No he's not
He's Daniel Whitehouse นะสวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
ค่ะ
คุณ
น่าผิดหวังไหมครับไม่ใช่ดำ
ไม่ผิดหวัง
ไม่เลยค่ะ
นะหน้าตาหล่อเหลากว่าดำเยอะนะ
อุ้ยอย่างนี้เราพูดได้ว่าดำไม่อยู่ใช่ไหมคะ You speak Thai fluently How long have you been living in Thailand
So I've been living in Thailand for 3 years
Only 3 years
Yeah ตัวจริงๆแล้วเคยเรียนมาก่อนนะครับเรียนภาษาไทยที่อังกฤษนะครับก็มาเมืองไทยครั้งแรกอายุประมาณ17 ปีนะครับเป็นนักท่องเที่ยว and I love Thailand so much that I decided when I went to university I was going to study Thai studies ก็หมายถึงว่าเวลาเข้ามหาลัยก็เรียนไม่ใช่แค่ภาษาไทยก็เรียนทั้งประวัติศาสตร์วัฒนธรรมการเมืองด้วยนะครับ
ในประเทศไทยค่ะ
ตอนที่เรียนเกี่ยวกับเมืองไทยกลับไปเรียนที่อังกฤษหรือเปล่าครับหรือเรียนที่เมืองไทยต่อเลยตอนที่เรียนเกี่ยวกับประวัติศาสตร์ไทยต่างๆเนี่ยแล้วก็ภาษาไทยเนี่ย
ใช่ก็เรียนที่อังกฤษเป็น3 ปีนะครับแล้วก็มีปีเดียวที่มช.เชียงใหม่นะครับ
มาแล้วเชียงใหม่ด้วย
คือซูชิงเนี่ยเคยเจอแดนก่อนหน้าที่จะมาเจอกันในรายการนี้คุณปลื้มทราบไหมคะประโยคแรกที่ซูชิงได้ยินจากแดนที่ทำให้รู้ว่าภาษาไทยของแดนเจ๋งมากคืออะไรคือประโยคว่าก็โอนะ
สับโผล่ได้นะครับสู้กับอดัมไม่ได้แล้วครับ
แต่สับแสลงเล็กๆน้อยๆเกร็ดเล็กเกร็ดน้อยเนี่ยจริงๆแล้วสำหรับชาวต่างชาติที่มาอยู่ในเมืองไทยไม่นานเนี่ยคุณ Daniel Whitehouse ถือว่าได้ซึมซับไปรวดเร็วมากทีเดียวนะฮะมันมีคำถาม I have a question though for you
Yes.
Are you from Washington D.C. Why is your last name Whitehouse
Well it's my family name คุณปลื้ม Actually my family name is older than the White House in America so ไม่ใช่ทำเนียบขาวเป็นบ้านสีขาวเฉยๆนะครับ But actually in England it's quite a common surname it's quite usual
Okay all right so we
will
welcome คุณ Daniel Whitehouse to the Talking Thailand community คุณจิตสุภาชิง everyone can participate in our program
ใช่ค่ะเหมือนที่เราพูดกันตลอดนะคะว่าสามารถเข้าไปมีส่วนร่วมได้ค่ะ You can log on to Facebook and search for Talking Thailand We may have told you that you can go straight to facebook.com/talkingthailand but I think it will be more convenient if you just type Talking Thailand on the search box Also don't forget the hashtag Talking Thailand and BYO mark Bring your own mark so all of us we have our own mugs and we talked about our mugs already in the previous episodes but we haven't talked about Dan's mug
Yes my mug so my mug is from Museum สยาม
Museum สยาม
จริงๆแล้วยังไม่ได้เข้าครับ I haven't been yet but my friend did go and he brought me a mug and he recommended I go so maybe next week I might have a trip
I recommend you to go there it's really cool it's like interactive museum and it showcases a lot of Thai histories and in a really fun way
Museum this is a พิพิธภัณฑ์สยาม
ใช่ค่ะที่จะเห็นว่าคุ้นเคยว่าซูชิงได้นำ Google Glass ไปถ่ายที่นั่นค่ะก็คือจะเป็นพิพิธภัณฑ์ที่ง่ายต่อการรับชมมีแบบสื่ออินเทอร์แอคทีฟต่างๆมากมายก็อยู่ในแก้วของแดนใบนี้นะคะ
Alright cool mug
okay
so take a picture of yourself and your favorite mug and then post it on Twitter Facebook Google Plus Instagram all of those
Alright let's begin with the first issue of the day you know lately there's been a lot of new news organization but as of the past couple of weeks ViceMedia has been making its way into Thailand now ViceMedia has begun having all of these news reports about Thailand which is on its own attracted a lot of people but I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Vice because a lot of Thai viewers may not be aware of this company just yet. If you remember the trip that Dennis Rodman, the basketball player, took to North Korea, it was actually an idea by Vice.
Really?
Okay? Yeah, Vice is a company that specializes in coming up with really strange but bizarre but cool ideas about how to cover particular stories. You know, if you look at the way that we do news, even at VoiceTV or at most news organizations in Thailand, we would have a reporter that would cover a particular issue or a particular event. But what Vice does differently is that they used an immersion school of journalism where they send in the agent or the reporter, but they can call that person an agent, into the field and have that person be totally immersed with the experience. So, for example, Vice did a story on the militant group in Libya that was trying to take over the current government, the post-Gaddafi government. And they sent in a reporter that was basically traveling along with the whole set of militants on the move. Wow. And the idea is to make sure that the reporter is going to get the whole experience. So for example, they wanted a story on the life of strippers in Las Vegas, Nevada. So they would have one of the reporters, living a whole week, an entire week
as a stripper.
As a stripper.
Wow.
So this is what Vice does. Now, it's created a lot of controversy because Vice does that in a lot of fields.
Wait, so that reporter had to strip?
Every
day?
So, for example, but that's not the worst case. I mean, there are worse examples. For example, in Ukraine, you would have reporters from Vice just really joining in the protests. Joining in the protests in Kiev, and really taking part in sometimes being a victim of violence that was taking place. So they do this, and so far, since setting up in 1994 by Shane Smith, they have really garnered a lot of attention from the mainstream media. And since the last report that they made on Thailand, now they really have the attention of the Thai people.
Right.
And so I think this is something that is quite new. I don't know if it's going to be something that is an example for other news organizations, but it's certainly interesting. I mean, they had a report on Thailand, and they sent in a woman who was going around and interviewing people. And I think they're going to have another one. And the scary thing about Vice looking at Thailand is that they normally are interested in countries that are falling apart. So, so they have a lot of reports on South Sudan or Libya or the industrial heaven that was and now is really just urban city hell that is Detroit. Okay, so they have an interest.
So we can safely say that Thailand is a fall apart country, in their eyes.
In their eyes. Then this is the problem, because when Vice came to do a story on Thailand, I started telling all my friends and on my other show here on VoiceTV as well that we got a problem, because if Vice is interested in covering us in an extensive manner, with a series of reports, it means we're going, nowhere. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. So if you haven't checked, have you checked this out? Dan?
I checked it out. Yeah. I saw the report that they produced, and it was very interesting. It's very different from the BBC style from Washington Post. It's kind of like BBC on Yaba or something like that. Or why don't BBC? Something like that. It's very, very lively, energetic. Although I was worried about the neutrality. Ben Glang. I think news should be neutral. And I wasn't sure whether this documentary was completely neutral.
You're right.
Thought,
Vice gives you that excitement.
It was very exciting.
Yeah, it's not boring.
It's not boring, but
it
was
may
it
not
real?
be neutral. Yeah.
There was lots of music in the background, kind of scary music, thinking, something's going to happen, anything's going to happen, what could happen, which is very exciting. But then I think, is that responsible
Is it entertainment or news?
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of both.
Have you checked this out?
Yeah. But also, let's get back to the subject that you talk about, having a reporter pose as a stripper. Is that even ethical?
No, but it's like consent. It's consensual.
But is that a real experience?
No, but I think the whole idea of Vice is to create news entertainment.
Yeah.
And even that, to create news entertainment and to make sure that the subject, the reporter, truly understands the experience and then brings that experience back to the viewers, and that's the idea. So and it's not been accepted by the standard school of journalism, but it is drawing a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And so, but I do recommend the website overall.
Yeah, you should check it out.
There's a
It's
lot
very
of
interesting. Yeah, stuff that you wouldn't see on any other website. There's lots of things about drugs and criminal gangs, things that the BBC or other news agencies would maybe be a bit afraid to report. They kind of go for it. They're very brave.
I have
Yeah.
seen
in some
something like
ways.
this on Current TV.
Yes,
a few
yes.
years back, but now they don't have Current TV anymore.
No,
right?
Current
They
was sold
stopped
to Al
operating.
Jazeera.
Oh, right.
So even Al Jazeera is mainstream compared to Vice. I mean, even Al Jazeera is not mainstream compared to CNN, BBC.
Yeah.
But it's quite
Still.
normal compared to Vice. I do want to summarize that. There's an English word that I got from that conversation. There's neutrality.
Neutrality.
ความเป็นกลาง
ความเป็นกลาง
นะ
นะครับ
ฮะ
ค่ะ
NEU
T R A L
TRALITY neutrality ความเป็นกลางนะฮะ
ครับผม
สำคัญใช่ไหมฮะ
ก็นี่เป็นสำคัญนะครับ ถ้าเป็นข่าวนะครับต้องเป็น neutral
ใช่
นะครับ neutral เป็นคำนามนะครับต้องเป็น neutral นะครับ อันนี้เป็นหน้าที่ของข่าวนะครับ ถ้าไม่ neutral ก็ไม่มีอะไรไม่มีประโยชน์เลย
ใช่
นะค
ใช่
รับ
อันนี้เขากำลังเลคเชอร์ผมอยู่ด้วย
นะ
ทำข่าว
ก็คือเรื่องเกี่ยวข้องโดย
ต้อง
ต
เป็น
รงนะ
neutral
คะ
นะครับ
เรื่
คุ
อง
ณ
นี้
เพิ่ม
ครับพูดถึง Vice เนี่ยผมจะแนะนำให้ทั้งสองท่านผู้ชมรู้จักคนนี้นิดหนึ่งมีคนที่เป็นพิธีกรที่ดังของ Vice
ค่ะ
ชื่อเอ็ดดี้ฮวงนะฮะเอ็ดดี้ฮวง This guy is a Taiwanese American and right at this moment he's a millionaire. He owns a couple of restaurants in New York and he's got a production company. He produces a program on Vice and it's called Fresh Off the Boat. Now, fresh off the boat in America means people who just basically left the boat,
Yeah.
Coming from China.
So immigrants.
Yeah, immigrants, recently arrived immigrants. And the idea is that he makes fun of himself. And then he goes around acting like he's all cool hip hop, acting like he's Jay-Z, he's 50 Cent. But anyway, okay, that's his persona. So he likes to listen to hip hop, but he's a great chef. I mean, he's got a successful restaurant called Bauhaus. And on this show, he presents an identity of Asian in America that do not necessarily have to be like bookworms and nerds.
Yeah.
Okay, this is now I'm not saying I was this. I wasn't this because when I was in
Were you the bookworm?
yeah, I was the nerd.
But he
in the
mentioned
US,
that in the last
And
episode.
actually, many Asians in America have that identity, and they are that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this guy basically, this guy didn't like that. So he kind of wanted to, get out of the box, and so he started this thing, and he's caught on, and now he's one of, like media icons, in the restaurateur world. So. I
So
just
we're going
wanted
to be starting to hear his name a lot more often from now on, right?
Yeah, he's making it to the mainstream. You know Anthony Bourdain? Yeah, Anthony Bourdain is a famous chef, famous
Yeah.
writer who now has a show on CNN. He's like the Asian version of Anthony Bourdain in the U.S. But I don't know. What do you think about this? Because the idea is that you can break out of this mold that society wants to place you in. By doing something different. Eddie Huang has done something different.
Yeah.
He has not gone to be like, a doctor. His parents expected him to be, a bookworm to study and one day grow up and become a lawyer or a doctor. Now he's like a hip hop, guy
Yeah.
moving around doing cooking shows.
Well, he does not follow the typical path. Usually they will think like Asian parents would want their kids to only have
Yes.
A and B is not acceptable or something like that. And if you see Chinese students, you assume right away that they are good at math, they're
Yeah.
good at all the subjects, they're good at everything. So he's not like that. And,
Yeah,
this is why he's so different and interesting.
Yeah, he's made pretty big. What now you get a lot of like, stereotypes placed on you, right, Daniel? Staying in
ว่าเป็น
Thailand.
ผู้ดีเหรอครับ
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I speak
They
then
call
they
your
know
country
ไม่ใช่ผู้ดี
ผู้ดี
แล้วมึงผู้ดีเนาะ Yeah, I think this guy he's very interesting. I think what's quite interesting is that maybe we can say Asian Americans, there's one stereotype, like you said, they're bookworms, หนอนหนังสือ like that. So this guy, he's combined hip hop culture, like traditionally black culture,
Yeah.
with his own Asian culture. He's still very Asian.
Yeah.
He still cooks Chinese food and stays Asian. And it's this kind of mixing of the
Yeah.
two. We call it like hybridity, a
Yeah.
hybrid. And I think that's really modern. It's a very new thing that you can have different identities and you can put them together and create a new identity.
And it's worked for him.
Exciting. And it seems to have worked.
But
works for
what
him.
about in the UK though? Your experience in the UK, like Asian British, you know?
Yeah.
How are they seen in
Yeah,
in
yeah, what's
London,
their
in
stereotype?
Birmingham?
To be honest, in the strange thing is, if in England, if we say Asian British, then we usually mean South Asian. So we're talking about Indian, Pakistan, just because England was a colony, and then in the 50s we had many people from India and Pakistan come into the country. So when we say Asian British, we mean Pakistani and Indian, and their stereotype is a bit different. They're seen as quite cool, actually.
Really?
Yeah, they're quite cool, actually. A lot of British Asians, they're very into hip-hop culture, but then they have their own culture too. Yeah.
But is there a large contingent of like, you know, Chinese or Taiwanese or even Southeast Asian immigrants in the UK?
There's becoming more and more Thai people, that's for sure, and Chinese people. And I think the stereotype for East Asian is the one that you said, this kind of quite intellectual, quiet,
เรียนหนังสือเก่ง
เรียนหนังสือเก่ง
ไม่ค่
แล้
อยว
ก็
เข้า
แบ
สั
บ
งคม
เงียบ like
ค่ะ
yeah, like something like that. That's still a stereotype.
And they do fit in okay? Or
Yeah, I mean, every big city in England will have a Chinatown, and it feels kind of like China. You feel like you're in China
Yeah.
when you're in Chinatown. So I think they do mix, but they like to have their community still. They like to live in that small community that they
ซึ่งพอคุณ
create.
แดนพูดเรื่องไฮบริดแบบนี้เดี๋ยวช่วงต่อไปเราก็จะยังมีคุยกัน
ครับ
เรื่องที่เป็นความไฮบริดของระหว่างหลาย ๆ เชื้อชาติเข้าด้วยกันด้วยค่ะคุณปลื้
ใช่
ม
ใช่คำสำคัญจากประโยคเมื่อกี้นี้ไฮบริดนะครับ
ค่ะ
HYBRID นะครับซึ่งถ้าแปลเป็นไทยคือไฮบริดนี่คือคล้ายๆกับไม่ใช่กลายพันธุ์นะ
เหมือนลูกผสม
ลูกผสม
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 ปาณ
นะครับได้สองคำแล้วนะวันนี้นะฮะไฮบริดนะครับลูกผสมนะครับพักกันสักครู่นะครับท่านผู้ชม Talking Thailand กลับมาเดี๋ยวคุยเรื่องนี้แหละฮะเรื่องไฮบริดนี่แหละฮะสักครู่ฮะ
ต้อนรับกลับเข้าสู่รายการ Talking Thailand ค่ะเมื่อช่วงที่แล้วนะคะเราคุยกันว่าเราจะมาพูดกันถึงเรื่องไฮบริดค่ะซึ่งไฮบริดที่เราพูดกันก็คือเรื่องลูกผสม But last weekend, if you have seen Voice News, 7 o'clock Voice News, the columnist, you see Kun Kampaka talked about this issue, which I think is very compelling. She talked about how America is turning to become more and more of multi-racial society. So I found this article on MSNBC that say America's young children are more racially diverse than ever before. And they did this consensus that says in 5 years, children under 18-year-old will be all mixed race children ลูกครึ่งภายในอีก 5 ปีข้างหน้า
in 5 years
Yeah, in 5 years จะมีลูกครึ่งในอเมริกามากขึ้น So when you talk about American society, you usually imagine white people is a big part of the society. But only in 5 years, you will see more multiracial citizens in America. But the same thing is happening in Britain also.
Yep, for sure.
So I would like to
Yes.
point out that we might think that this issue is far apart from our daily lives. But just imagine that next year, 2015, when we become ASEAN community, Thai people would get married to people from different countries in Asia, and then we will have the same exact multiracial society in Thailand. So it's closer to us more than we think.
Yeah, the latest census in the U.S. Have the numbers that
Right.
eventually Caucasian Americans, quote unquote, white Americans would become the minority, meaning that there would be less than 50%.
Right.
That would
Yes.
eventually happen down the road. So that surely, I mean, that is going to change the demographics of things. So if you previously think of people as particular colors or ethnic groups,
Yeah.
you would have to start thinking differently. You have to not be able to place a label on people saying that, okay, this guy's Indian, this guy is black, this guy is white. You can't
Yeah.
because they have,
They could be from anywhere now.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
yeah, I mean, so is this an issue? Is this a problem, or are you just telling us that?
Just
this,
telling you that this is happening. They might invent some new words to try to, group people together. Like if Chinese and Indian or Chinese and Italian, they might
Chindian.
join the words together. Yeah. So we will start to see more new words when in terms of talking about races.
When you see particular combinations that you have never seen before, then you would have new words. No, but I'm sure. I mean, this is something that many societies are already adapting to. I mean, isn't it the case like in the UK that I mean you got pretty much a whole melting pot there.
We do.
especially
We
in
really
London.
do. Well, my hometown is Birmingham. Okay. แล้วก็ถ้าเป็นสถานที่ที่อังกฤษนะครับแล้วลงท้ายด้วยตัว HAM นะครับออกเสียงแบบนะครับไม่ใช่แฮมนะครับนี่เป็นสำเนียงอเมริกันมากกว่านะครับเป็นอย่างเช่น Birmingham Nottingham หรือราชวังBuckingham
อ๋อ
Palace
ผมดันไปเรียกว่า Nottingham
ใช่ค่ะเราก็เรียกอย่างนั้นเหมือนกันคุณแดนได้บอกแล้วว่าห้ามพูดแบบ
โทษนะครับแล้ว in Birmingham if we talk about the center of Birmingham there are more ethnic minorities than white people already so it's certainly happening in England
but isn't it I mean is it a particular issue that there is backlash from conservative wings of British society that this is not something that is fruitful in the long term? I mean,
I think you will always get a little bit of backlash from some people. We call them conservatives. People who want to protect what they think is traditional society, traditional values. But actually, talking about Birmingham again, 4 or 5 years ago in Birmingham, we had the Birmingham riots, and this was riots. They had two groups, and one group was people who come from Africa and the Caribbean, and the other group was Indian Pakistani, and they were fighting each other. There was no kind of very few white people involved. So it's not just sometimes that you have the traditionalist white people saying we don't like you. Sometimes the immigrants come and they don't like each other. So that can also be a problem sometimes. There's tension between two different communities in a very small space.
ก่อนที่จะมาพูดเรื่องการที่จะพูดถึงลูกครึ่งสถานการณ์ลูกครึ่งที่อยู่ในเมืองไทยนะคะ I do think that word you mentioned melting pot is interesting. Should we tell the audience about melting pot?
Melting pot เนี่ย pot เนี่ยจริงๆแล้วแปลว่าหม้อนะฮะแต่ว่า melting pot ในที่นี่คือมันเหมือนกับว่าข้างในหม้อเนี่ยมันมีอะไรที่ละลายอยู่เยอะๆ
ค่ะเอาหลายๆอย่างมาหลอมละลายรวมกัน
ผมแปลง่ายๆคือหม้อลูกผสมฮะคือหม้อผสมก็คือว่าในประเทศสหรัฐอเมริกาอะไรเงี้ยก็จะมีทุกกลุ่ม ethnic group เหมือนกับในอังกฤษนะครับสังคมอังกฤษสังคมสหรัฐก็เป็นสังคม melting pot นะครับ
ไม่ใช่เหมือนหม้อ MK อะไรอย่างนี้นะ
แต่ก็หลากหลาย
Well, back to the ลูกครึ่ง issue. I want to share my experience because my best friend is Indonesian. She got married to a Thai guy. So it wouldn't be a problem usually if they speak English to each other. But in this case, they speak Chinese to each other. So my friend would speak Chinese and Indonesian with her family members, but communicate to her husband using Chinese, and at the same time she would have to speak English to his family. But now they just had a baby, and the problem is that there are 4 languages involved in raising this baby: Indonesian, Thai, English, and Chinese. You can't really expose your baby with 4 languages at the same time. They might get confused. So they came up with the idea that they just use 2 languages. So if I go visit the baby, I'm only allowed to speak Chinese and English to the baby. So I think this is a problem an issue that we have to talk about if we are going to be a society with more races in the future. What language should you use to communicate with your children?
This is it's a parental decision though, but I think it's more power to this child. This child has the potential.
Quite a lucky child, actually.
Yeah, it's a lucky child.
Don't you think that he would get really confused?
No.
I think children's brains, they're like sponges. They soak up language. And I think
Kun Su-Shing, that's actually conservative thinking.
Really?
You're a conservative, Su-Shing.
Yes. I have met many people who grew up to speak, 5 or 6 different languages, and it's because they were exposed.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the child has to be smart as well. If the
Right.
child is not smart, he probably not going to learn any more than
The
one
learning
fluent.
progress might be slower
Yeah, I mean,
than usual.
I've met people who grow up in many countries and in the end they can't speak one fluent language, okay? So it depends as well. The child has to be smart, but if the child is smart, he can learn 4 or 5. I disagree with the view. I've heard this before
Right.
that exposure to more than 1 or more than 2 is difficult. I don't agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
But I do agree that this kid will probably grow up to be fluent in only like 2.
Not 4, right?
Not 4.
the
I
whole
mean,
4.
it's difficult to be fluent in,
What's your plan for your kid?
No, Thai.
Thai
you know,
first.
เท่านั้น
No,
ใช่ไหม
because
100%
Thailand as a society is not that melting pot you think it is. Because in Thailand, you cannot get away with not speaking and writing Thai well.
Right.
I mean, you still have to do it well. And then you got to do English well as well.
yeah
We're not that, quote unquote,
Not yet.
international
Not
or AEC yet to the point
Yeah.
where we're going to be, non-Thai speaking. But so I'm giving him Thai
Well,
and English.
yeah.
time
Well, Thai
And English.
people right now, I think they don't have enough understanding when it comes to talking about people from different races. Like if you talk about African American or people from Africa, they have certain stereotypes that will not ever go away. you know?
This is society has to grow up. So eventually, I think eventually we'll get there. I mean, when we have more experiences with more exposure to people from other
Right.
culture, I think we'll have that. Eventually.
eventually,
And
yeah.
we'll stop, making, irresponsible remarks about other cultures. I
Right,
think
exactly.
eventually that has to happen
Yeah.
yeah
sometime down the road.
Okay. And since today Dan will share with us about all the different accents in Britain.
right yeah well I'm from England and
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about English accents okay แล้วพูดถึงเรื่องสำเนียงนะครับที่อังกฤษ
สำเนียงอั
นะ
ง
ครับ
กฤษ
เพราะว่า
ค่ะ
ที่อังกฤษมันเป็นเรื่องใหญ่มากเลยนะครับ It's a really big issue in England more than in Australia or America because I was reading last year they did a report
Yeah.
and they found that 25% of English people are ashamed of their accent. They're embarrassed by it, and they feel that people look down on them.
Really?
Look down ก็ดูถูกนะครับ
เฮ้ยแปลกนะฮะ Why would they think like that?
นั่นน่ะ
Since
สิ
most
คะ
of the
This is English.นี่เป็นเมืองผู้ดีนะครับ
ค่ะ
I think it's because this is my personal opinion. England has a lot of snobs. Okay, รู้จักคำนี้หรือเปล่าครับ
Let's teach this
Snob
word.
snob เป็นผู้ประจบสพล
ค่ะ
คนที่มีฐานะสูง
ค่ะ
แต่ว่าวางตัว
ฮะ
ปั้นปิ่งกับ
โอเค
กับผู้ที่มีฐานะต่ำนะครับ
เมืองไทยก็
เฮ้ยก็มี
Thailand
นะ
has a lot of snobs
คิดว่าแต่ว่าจริงๆแล้ว I wanted to ask about this because I think that Thai society and English society are quite similar. We both have many different accents. We have a royal family. We have the ระบบชันชน
Yeah,
the
yeah,
yeah.
ชนชั้น the
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of social structure.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, I know that Suching, you're from the south.
Yeah.
How do you feel speaking with a southern accent in Bangkok?
In Bangkok, yeah. Well, when I first moved to Bangkok, I spoke Thai with a little bit of southern accent. Well, people laughed at me, and
Yeah?
I got a bit embarrassed, when I shouldn't have. But I felt a bit embarrassed because people tried to point out that this word is not used in ภาษากลาง you took it from southern dialect, and you can't put it in ภาษากลาง, which is a standard accent. So, but eventually I try to adapt my Thai accent to try to centralize it as much as I can.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I can sympathize with you because when I went to university, I did the exact same thing. And actually, the study I was reading found that the Birmingham accent, my accent, from my hometown, is the one that is seen as being the worst.
It's really strong.
Yeah, it's
How?
very strong, and if people hear the Birmingham accent, they say, "Oh, that person." That person is stupid or not very intelligent. Yeah, so I changed my accent.
So it's actually the case that the stronger the accent, if you're from the south of the UK, it's seen as like country. It's seen as like
Anywhere, every kind of local place has their own country. ก็จริงๆแล้วเรื่องสำเนียงไม่ใช่เรื่อง สถานที่นะครับมันเป็นเรื่องคลาสมากกว่า
อ๋อมันกลายเป็นอย่างนั้น
ค่ะ
ใช่
เป็
เป็น น
เรื่
อ
อง
ย่างนั้น
ชนชั้น
นะอย่างเช่นมีคนมาจากนิวคาสเซิลนะครับแล้วก็
ค่ะ
เป็นคนไฮโซนะครับ
อ่า
จะพูดก็คล้ายๆกับ The Queen นะครับ
ครับ
แล้วไม่ว่าจะมาจากเบอร์มิงแฮมที่ไหนก็ได้
ค่ะ
they will have the same accent but different if they're lower they will have lots of different
งั้นถ้า
accents
อยู่ใน city if you're in the city you would speak with a like a mild cooler tone
no
No.
in the city some cities have very strong
Oh, okay.
accents
No,
Yeah.
you know, you have to understand that most people living abroad, they view that speaking English with an English accent is cool.
ใช่ค่ะ
they do
It's seen as like higher up. It's not seen as country.
especially
I think-
American people when
yeah.
they hear
Yeah, they
British
view as-
accent they go
as-
crazy
Yeah, I think that I think when Americans they say British English, and I think what they actually mean, they don't mean Scottish or Welsh or
Yeah.
Irish. They're talking about something called RP.
RP.
RP. This comes from received pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
แล้วมีอีกสองชื่อคือ The Queen's English หรืออีกชื่อหนึ่งคือ BBC
BBC
English
อ๋อ
อันนี้เพราะว่าในอดีตนะครับไม่ใช่ปัจจุบันนี้นะครับช่องข่าว BBC จะให้นักข่าวพิธีกรพูดสำเนียง RP นะครับ so we sometimes call it BBC English
Okay, I understand.
yeah so even so sometimes now we have people like David Cameron who
Yeah.
has we call it a posh accent posh เป็นคำภาษาอังกฤษแบบอังกฤษนะครับแปลว่าไฮโซนะครับแปลว่าไฮโซ
ค่ะ
posh POSH and he makes his accent more RP so he makes his accent less posh so he doesn't want to sound like a snob
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So actually, the detail is very important. So-
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So for Su Xing learning English,
Yeah.
you know, as a Thai person, what you would advise her is that choose the you know the particular way to accentuate your remarks carefully,
right
right? I mean, it's important. Okay. Don't think that it's all good.
yeah
So I understand. Okay, so I'm gonna stick with the way that I speak my English.
it's a lovely English accent
Okay, thank you.
no need to change
yeah well, so
it's lovely
you mean that if you speak English with BBC accent can you get away with everything I mean you can
well, they found that if you speak with a BBC accent, everyone thinks that you're more intelligent.
Wow.
You have more power, more money, more influence.
so how do I start
There.
Very good. Yeah, that's
That's
very
good.
good. So. First of all, even though it's called the Queen's English, don't
Yeah.
copy the Queen because she talks very high. It's very high. Don't talk like that.
Yeah.
But so RP is sort of yes, I don't know. You talk like this, and yes, พูดแบบนี้ใช่แล้วใช่ครับ
Yep.
like
ประมาณ
don't
นั้นนะ
exaggerate it
Don't exaggerate. Quite short words.
Okay.
The problems of a hierarchical society. This
I
is
know.
We have to live with.
We have to live with them.
We'll take a short break. We'll come back with Talking Thailand. สักครู่นะครับเดี๋ยวกลับมาครับ Welcome back to Talking Thailand.
Thailand from the inside out and outside in
ร่วมมองประเทศไทยในมุมมองที่แตกต่างระดับโลกกับพวกเรานะครับ
เวลา
ค่ะ
ไปสัมภาษณ์ซูเปอร์สตาร์ต่างประเทศเนี่ยนะฮะ
ค่ะ
ส่วนใหญ่เขาต้องเลือกส่งคนที่พูดภาษาอังกฤษได้ไปสัมภาษณ์
ใช่ค่ะ
นะฮะก็สมมุติว่าเรามีดาราฮอลลีวูดมาแถวนี้เนี่ยอาจจะคุณสู้ชิงหรือผมอาจจะได้สัมภาษณ์
ค่ะ
แล้วก็ต้องตั้งคำถามเป็นประเด็นที่แบบ
คือต้องเป็นคนที่มีประสบการณ์ในการสัมภาษณ์
ใช่
มาก่อน
หรือไม่คือคุณต้องเคารพเนื้อหาก็คือหมายความว่าตอนนั้นผมไปสัมภาษณ์เอริกชมิดเนี่ยนะ
ค่ะ
ของ Google เนี่ยผมก็ต้องเตรียมคำถามสำหรับผู้บริหาร Google ไง
ใช่
เพราะเขาระดับนี้แล้วนะคราวนี้ที่ฮือฮากันเนี่ย เป็นเรื่องของใครวะเนี่ยดารา
Oh, this very handsome famous Thai actor Bom Thanin ค่ะ Have you heard of him Have you heard
บ
of
อม
him
ธนิน
a little bit I not
Yeah.
ไม่ค่อยรู้จัก
I
นะครับไม่
I
ค่อยดู
heard that
นะครับ
he broke a girl's heart
Yeah.
and the girl happens to be a lady by the name of Focus
and she made a video clip crying about it
yes and so now he's like one of the most hated actors in the country
ดราม่าเนาะโอ้โห
and then it was revealed that it was going after a lot of actresses so he's seen as
เจ้าชู้เหรอ
เจ้าชู้
It's a flirt
and but เจ้าชู้ in an unpopular way that's the problem okay
Right.
anyway they sent him to interview the cast
Yeah.
of Spider-Man.
Too.
So
Jamie
you know,
Foxx. Yep.
and then a clip of his interview was shown, I think, on one of the free TV networks.
Right.
And then
Well, he was struggling with the interview between himself and Jamie Foxx. And he tried to introduce himself as a Thai actor. And then when we talked, he asked Jamie Foxx about Thai language, experience about Thailand. And then he said, I am a Thai actor. Can I ask you for your acting tips? Is there anything that you can advise me? So that's what he said. But the thing is that why did he have to talk about Thailand when you talk to someone from global community? You don't really need to talk about your country. He tried to make Jamie Foxx speak Thai. ผมรักพวกคุณ for many times I guess
การนะพวก
เป็น
คุณ
ผมรักพวกคุณ
the criticism is based on the very fact that as an interviewer, you're supposed to you're supposed to use
Right.
your guests wisely, meaning that
Exactly.
if you have an actor of the caliber of the cast and crew of
It's not
Spider-Man, you might as well not ask them about like pad Thai or what they think about walking around at Khao San
Make
Road.
them speak Thai.
Or the question like, do you know who I am? I'm an actor here.
Right.
I think that came out wrong for him, and so but I think he's got his fair share of critics.
Yeah, he
on this.
became a really popular topic on the internet. So I think he's the latest meme on Thai internet.
Meme.
Yeah, become internet meme, which is something like some popular topic on the internet. People call it internet meme. They would capture the picture of Bom Tanin when he's not ready. You know, when you watch a video clip of him on YouTube and then you have to hit pause and go to the bathroom or something. If you hit pause every single time, he will come out looking like,
okay.
rolling his eyes. So that
okay.
made him become the internet meme. But of course, I think for all of us, if you hit pause when we're talking, we're about to look funny. Look at me,
That's
hit
true,
pause.
that's true.
You know, everyone is like that.
Daniel, have you seen this? Have you seen meme? You know meme?
Do I know the word meme?
Yeah.
I know the word meme.
Okay, you know what it is,
I know the
okay.
word meme. It's it was originally from a biologist called Richard Dawkins. I don't know if you know that. And he was talking about evolution and genes want to copy themselves. so it's this idea of in the internet age, stories want to copy themselves and they want to carry on that story. They want to carry on.
And that's the meme.
That's a meme.
That's the meme. Okay, so advice is that when interviewing like a really famous
ทำการบ้านมา
person,
เยอะ
yeah.
You
So
really have to get to know your guests. You have to do a lot of research on what they have done in the past, what they believe in and what their work is. So ก็จะเป็นบทเรียนสำหรับคนที่ไปสัมภาษณ์คราวหน้า
I do have an English word from that conversation.
Yeah.
Caliber.
Caliber.
It's one of my favorite words. Caliber. C-A-L-I-B-E-R. Now it has many meanings, right? But the meaning
Yes.
in this context is like level.
Yeah.
Right? Radap นะฮะ Radap caliber.
Yeah.
Caliber.
So you can have high caliber or a low caliber. Someone ระดับไม่สูง they're a low caliber. He was a low caliber interviewer.
But he is a high caliber, like,ละครactor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's not his job. So I was a bit confused. Why did they send him? There's so many talented town and like Ching.
No.
I'm not famous enough.
No, because Thai TV like to do this. They like to think that actors can be reporters.
Right.
They like to think that, show hosts can be journalists.
Right.
These are different professions. They like to mix them together. They like to believe that singers can act, actor can sing and all that. It's
Like sometimes you get
it's
Nadette
ridiculous.
dancing
Exactly.
or Mario trying to sing and it's
Well, what if you were Bom Tanin and you were chosen to interview such, important people? Can you really say no? I mean, if you know that you're not ready, but can you say no to such a good opportunity?
It's not his fault. It's the person who
It's not his
signs it.
fault. Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think
Okay.
so.
Okay, so during Songkran Festival,
Yes.
you had some very unique experience in Thailand.
I did. Yeah, I did. I went to the G Circuit party.
G Circuit.
G Circuit. Yeah, that's right. Complum.
What is the G Circuit?
I will. Oh, here's some pictures now. This.
What
this
is
looks
the
like
G
maybe
Circuit?
it was Ceylon. So G Circuit party is the biggest gay party in Asia. Okay, in the whole of Asia.
And it was in Bangkok.
And it was in Bangkok, and they organize it every year during Songkran. This year was the 8th year, and people come from all over Asia: Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore, and they เตรียมตัวก่อนนะ they go เข้า fitness you know before and they come they want to look good
Yeah.
and it's the biggest for gay people in Asia it's the biggest party of the year and I was talking with my friends and I was asking them do you agree with the question that Bangkok has become the gay capital of Asia and,
Really?
yeah and most of my friends ฝรั่งไทยฮ่องกงไต้หวันบอกว่าใช่ครับ it's the ศูนย์กลาง
เป็นศูนย์กลางของ ชาวเกย์
What has happened? I don't understand what has happened to create this metropolis
Right.
Yeah.
that is the Bangkok gay capital. What in terms
What
of
about
government
it?
policy? I don't think government policies have done anything. It's more
No,
like the
no.
culture,
No.
right?
They don't even want to admit it
Yeah, the culture
culture.
itself is open.
I think so. It's because the culture's open and it's a very big tourist destination, which always helps. So you have a lot of bars, a lot of places. For example, Singapore still has a big gay community, but actually the law in Singapore, it's still illegal for
that's
two men
right.
to have
Right.
sex in Singapore.
That's
So
right, that's
you have this strange situation where you have the law and then the reality. But in Thailand, there's not many laws against it. It's very open. People
Yeah.
accept it. So
So
that's
Songkran
why they
Festival
come.
in Thailand has become something of a gay pride
It's very
in
gay.
Asia.
Yeah, it's
And this is an
gay.
annual event.
It's an annual event.
Now,
yeah.
there's a saying that Thailand or Bangkok is like a heaven for, single men. So
Right.
apparently this is true for single men of all types.
Of all types of persuasion.
Because Thailand is like known for like Thailand as beautiful women. Like beautiful Thai woman is like okay.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
are you also saying that Thai men are good looking?
I would definitely agree that Thai men are good looking. Yeah,
So
I
this
think so.
that's
I
one of the
agree.
factors making Thailand the gay capital.
Probably, yeah. If the guys ไม่หล่อก็ไม่มีใครมานะ
Right?
ต้องหล่อนะ
Okay.
ต้องหล่อเท่านั้นนะคะ If you take a look at all the pictures on Twitter during Songkran Festival on the Silom Road, I think people may joke about asking others who see the same tweet to try to count how many women are in the pictures.
Right.
Only a few.
Only a
women.
few. Yeah. Only a few. Yeah. This is Silom, so it's very.
Yeah.
Lots
But
of
I
men.
think it's the place that women also feel safe to go and play water because like men there are not attracted to us, so we don't have to be afraid of that butt grabbing thing that you mentioned in the first episode. It can be a place where women can go and
Yeah.
celebrate Songkran Festival
Yeah.
safely.
Yeah.
But I do have to ask you about one thing though. I mean,
Yes.
Thailand is like a tourist destinations, and so people come here, and when there has to be a difference between those who come here to seek, the short-term thrills, and then they go back home, and then people like you who stick around and like Thailand for what it is,
Yeah.
more than just whatever is seen out there by
Yeah.
tourists. What is something that makes a difference to you for you to stick around this long?
What's your long-term
What's
thrill?
my long-term thrill after Silom gets boring? I like everyone says it, but I love the people. I love Thai people.
Yeah.
I like the feeling of being in Thailand. It's quite wunwaina. It's kind of crazy. It's a bit chaotic, but always fun, always interesting. There's always something to do. And the food's great as well.
Yeah.
So what more could you want?
Answer this honestly. Do you enjoy privileges that you have being a Farang in Thailand?
I have to be honest ก็พูดจริงนะครับ
ตรงๆ
ตรงๆคือ I get a lot of privileges being a Farang in Thailand than I would if I was just ฝรั่งธรรมดา
Exactly.
ที่ลอนดอนที่เบอร์มิงแกม
Birmingham.
ใช่ like I get invited to parties that I shouldn't go to but people think เป็นฝรั่งก็มาก็ได้นะ
Too many parties. Too many parties.
Too many parties.
English word I got from that conversation is privilege. Privilege นะฮะ privilege นะฮะแปลว่าง่ายๆก็คือสิทธิพิเศษ
สิทธิพิเศษ
ค่ะ
สิทธิพิเศษนะฮะก็อยู่ในเมืองไทยเนี่ยมีสิทธิพิเศษได้หลายๆเรื่องนะฮะฐานะทางสังคมก็
ค่ะ
เป็นปัจจัยเหมือนกันนะครับ privilege สิทธิพิเศษนะฮะ
ครับผม
Let's take a short break. We'll come back with more of Talking Thailand. We'll summarize the show and other issues as well. Take a short break. กลับเข้าสู่รายการ Talking Thailand นะครับ Back to Talking Thailand to summarize some of the English words that we have talked about in this program neutrality นะฮะเป็นกลางความเป็นกลาง being neutral นะฮะเป็นกลางนะครับwhich is important if you're reporting news and if you're in if you're in the media but other words that we discuss more aside from neutrality I think
hybrid
this is more interesting hybrid เนี่ยส่วนใหญ่จะใช้เวลาพูดถึงรถยนต์สมัยนี้นะฮะรถยนต์ลูกครึ่งระหว่างน้ำมันกับไฟฟ้าเนี่ยนะฮะ half electric half gasoline that's hybrid right okay but hybrid in the sense that is not about the stuff that we talked about is hybrid เหมือนกับว่าเป็นลูกผสม so if you talk about a person you wouldn't use the word hybrid right a mixed race person you would say a mixed race person
ลูกครึ่ง
เป็นลูกครึ่ง
ลูกครึ่งก็คือผสมนะฮะจากอาจจะเป็นลูกครึ่งเมื่อกี้เพื่อนของคุณสู้ชิงลูกครึ่งอินโดนีเซียกับไทย
Indonesian ไทยค่ะ
ก็ mixed Indonesian ไทยแต่ว่าบางทีมีคำอื่นนะถ้าไม่ใช่ mixed race
ค่ะ biracial
แต่ by แปลว่าสอง
only two so can you say multi
yes
multiracial
multiracial คุณจิตสุภาชิงyou are Chinese and you are some Thai
and maybe something else that I don't know
yeah,
I'm half Chinese half Thai
half Chinese half Thai
ก็นั่นแหละก็ถ้าอยากบอกว่าเป็นลูกครึ่งไทยอังกฤษอย่างเช่นนะครับบอกว่า half Thai half English อันนี้ก็ได้นะครับ half ลาว half Australian
แล้วถ้ามากกว่า2นะคะใช้ half ก็ไม่น่าจะได้แล้วใช่ไหมคะ
ก็ได้นะมันโอนะ
มันก็โอนะคะ
มันก็โอแต่ว่าแบบไม่ใช่แบบมีนักเรียนเก่านะบอกว่าเป็น half blood อันนี้ไม่ได้นี่แบบ Harry Potter นะอันนี้ไม่ได้กับแน่นอนนะครับ half blood ไม่ได้แน่นอน
แล้วคุณ Daniel Whitehouse เนี่ย what are you though what are you full blown Caucasian
ลูกครึ่งเหมือนกันนะครับ
ทำไมต้องโกรธ
exotic มากนะ Scotland and English
oh you got some Scottish Scotland will become independent they're gonna break out
they will not that's a lie they won't
okay so we got some good terms there multiracial biracial mixed race and hybrid also some of the other words that we talked about on this privilege นะฮะprivilege นะฮะก็ privilege สิทธิพิเศษนะครับ living in the country if you look good you have some privilege
right
if you have money you have some privilege
แน่นอน
if your name is big you have some privilege now the idea is that you better have some privilege some way somehow otherwise you're going to be at the bottom end of the hierarchical society this is the problem with Thailand we talked about this
that was my privilege เราสามารถเข้าไปร่วมมีส่วนร่วมกับรายการ Talking Thailand ได้นะคะไปเซิร์ชคำว่า Talking Thailand บน Facebook นะคะแล้วก็ Twitter ด้วยค่ะ @TalkingThailand hashtag นะคะ Talking Thailand และ BYOMAC ค่ะเดี๋ยวเรามาดูคอมเมนต์จากโซเชียลมีเดียตั้งแต่เอพิโซดที่แล้วนะคะ Let's start off with Twitter
we have
a poll
we have a Facebook going what is the page though if you want to go on
well you can just search for Talking Thailand
okay
it will take you right straight to our page
oh that's very cool that's a good looking photo
yeah and look at the Darth Vader
Darth
behind
Vader
you
in the back okay that poll
yeah we had an online poll during the previous episode so we asked the audience what they like the most about Talking Thailand and we provided them with different alternatives for them to choose from
and one is ได้พัฒนาภาษาอังกฤษจากการฟังการสนทนาภาษาอังกฤษนะฮะก็ they get to develop their English skills
มีคนโหวตให้มากกว่า50 คน
yes but then there are folks who particularly like the format the way we present the show okay and then they like the co-hosts in particular in number 4 they like คุณสู้ชิง
thank you
สวยเซ็กซี่9 คนเนี่ยไม่ใช่คนเดียว
อาจจะไม่ใช่เรื่องจริงก็ได้นะคะแต่ว่า thank you
that's only 9 though
yeah
that's only 9 people
I feel so left out
okay and then they like the content and then they think it's quite modern okay so thank you that's very cool
thank you We're gonna have more online poll like this. So if you log on to Talking Thailand Facebook fan page, you will see more poll coming up every episode. So let's take a look at feedback on Twitter. This is from สอบเสร็จแล้วโว้ย user อันนี้ said ไม่ดูทีวีเพราะคิดว่าเสียเวลาแต่ hashtag Talking Thailand ทำให้ผมนั่งดูได้จนจบอ่ะ
No, that's nice.
That's good.
That's
So,
nice.
so young people do watch us. That's good. That's
สัง
good.
เกตได้ว่าจะมีคนที่เริ่มจะเบื่อฟรีทีวีในที่เป็นแบบ
ครับ
เดิมแบบ
นี่
ดั้งเดิมนะ
เรา
คะ
revolutionize
ใช่
free TV
ค่ะ อันนี้เป็น user at อิทธิพลนะคะ บอกว่ารายการทีวีไทยที่ทำให้เราพัฒนาภาษาอังกฤษได้ Talking Thailand จะดูออนไลน์หรือทางทีวีก็ได้ ว้าว เป็นการโปรโมทรายการให้ไปในตัวเลยนะคะ Another tweet from FST ฟาเซน่ารักอ่ะ คนฝรั่งเศสกับอเมริกันคุยกันเป็นภาษาไทย ฮ่าฮ่าฮ่า
ยูจีเนียนะฮะ
Yep
มีคนก็เรียกร้องมาเยอะว่าให้เชิญยูจีเนีย
ใช่
กลับมา
ค่ะคนชอบ
คุณยูจีเนีย
มาก
พูดภาษาฝรั่งเศสได้นะฮะBonjour Daniel
Bonjour
Bonjour yeah.
จบแล้วแค่นั้นนะครับ
So
Okay, and this is from Facebook. MY bring your own BYO mark hashtag. Kun Patty, very extraordinary. I am still learning. The reflection, keep searching, keep learning, and
It's a
that is her favorite mark.
very photogenic. That's a very
Yeah,
good
very
picture.
photogenic.
Okay, very cool.
Okay, let's take a look at the second picture.
He's also photogenic. I like him.
He's hot.
Love
He's
the
also
picture.
photogenic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It could be a meme.
คุณอภิรักษ์ศรีสมบัติค่ะ BYO mark with Talking Thailand. And we see a lot of comments below, people laughing at the
That's
picture.
neutrality.
Yeah.
Both photos are
Tempting.
photogenic. Okay, do we have a next one? All right. คุณพานุวัฒน์คุณจอบนะฮะ my precious time Mark joining Talking Thailand with BYOM Mark on Voice TV 21.
Cool.
All right. And there we go. Nice for me to practice my English with Talking Thailand. There, you have tons of interesting issue, right? ทันหน้าหนึ่งข่าวสดนะฮะ
We notice the pattern on the mark
โอเค
ลายไก่เป็นตราไก่นะคะ I love this picture. This is so beautiful, so nicely arranged from คุณสุธาภานะคะ My favorite mark is a little memorial gift in Valentine's Day. Oh, so this is the gift that she got on Valentine's
Okay.
Day, along with her favorite snack dessert.
Okay.
So yeah, very sweet.
nice.
Thank you.
Delicious cakes there.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have more? Okay,
All right.
that's it. Okay, so do this. I think you participate, and then
Yep.
we'll capture some of the photos that you sent on, and then we'll show it here on Voice TV. Right
Yeah,
here.
any social media you feel comfortable using Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, or Instagram, all of the above. Just use the hashtag Talking Thailand and BYO mark.
Now, Daniel Whitehouse, are you a teacher at Adams School?
I am, yes.
Okay, so one of the fans of Talking Thailand, they can, take a class with you, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, you can. So I teach at Hollywood Learning Center, which is based in Phaya Thai, ครับ in Phaya Thai Plaza นะครับ and if you contact them, tell them you want to study with
Wow.
Kru Dan, then
Specific.
ยินดีครับ Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Well, if they learn English from you, would they get BBC English, Polish accent, or
Polish,
Birmingham accent?
maybe. I try to teach in สำเนียงมาตรฐานนะครับ so yeah, central accent.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where I try to teach.
Well, we thank you very much for coming on the show and
Thank you for
hosting
having me.
Talking Thailand with us.
ค่ะ
And we look forward to seeing you again. วันนี้เรา 3 คนลาท่านผู้ชมไปก่อนนะครับ พบกันอีกครั้งทาง Voice TV นะครับกับรายการ Talking Thailand. We'll see you again next time. Have a great night. สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ